Imagine shouting your bank password across a crowded stadium. It sounds impossible to keep private, yet your device does this every time you shop online. In 2026, the internet acts as this public stadium. Data is constantly being intercepted by millions of potential listeners. We rely on prime number mathematics to scramble this information. Even if intercepted, it remains meaningless noise to anyone without the key. The data travels safely through the crowd, becoming readable only when it reaches the intended receiver who holds the private key. At the heart of modern security lies the trapdoor function. It is a mathematical process that is simple to perform but near impossible to reverse. Think of it like mixing paint. Blending two distinct colors takes only seconds. Once mixed, separating them back into their original buckets is effectively impossible. In cryptography, this mix is the multiplication of two massive prime numbers. The result, their product, is public knowledge. However, finding the original primes from that product is like trying to unmix the paint. Multiplying is the mix, which is fast, but factoring that result is the unmix, which takes computers millions of years. This is the lock that keeps your digital world secure. Modular arithmetic, or clock math, is the backbone of modern security. Think of a clock where numbers wrap around once they reach a limit. If it is 10 o'clock and we add 5 hours, we don't land on 15. We wrap around to 3. By using a clock with trillions of numbers, we create a system where we know the starting point and the jump, but an attacker only sees the final result. Without the private jump, the math is impossible to reverse, keeping your sensitive data locked behind a mathematical wall. Asymmetric encryption relies on a dual-key system. We start with two massive prime numbers. When multiplied, they form a large product, n, which acts as the public key. Anyone can use this public key to lock a message. It is mathematically easy to multiply the primes to get the product, but finding those hidden primes is computationally exhaustive. This is why the original prime factors are kept as your private key. Only these specific numbers can reverse the process and unlock the encrypted data. This trapdoor function secures the digital world, ensuring that even if an attacker intercepts your public key, they lack the computational power to deduce the private key and unlock the message. We are currently in a high-stakes transition. For decades, RSA 2048 has stood as our digital fortress, using the sheer complexity of prime factorization to keep our data secure. However, quantum computing is changing the math. Small-scale quantum processors are beginning to challenge the assumption that RSA is unbreakable. Experts warn that a cryptographically relevant quantum computer could factor these primes in mere hours. This would essentially render our current digital security a house of cards. Security analysts identify the period from 2028 to 2030 as the critical window of vulnerability for infrastructure that fails to modernize its cryptographic standards. A growing threat in 2026 is the harvest now, decrypt later strategy. Adversaries capture and store massive amounts of encrypted, sensitive traffic passing through global networks today. Even if they cannot break the encryption now, they save this data in vast storage repositories. They are betting on the eventual arrival of powerful quantum processors. Once these quantum systems mature, they could potentially factor the prime numbers that secure current RSA-based systems, turning once hidden data into an open book. This risk is exactly why immediate global migration to post-quantum cryptography is the top priority. We must upgrade our defenses now to keep tomorrow's secrets safe. As we face the quantum era, the mathematical foundations of RSA, which rely on prime factorization, are becoming vulnerable to advanced algorithms. To secure our future, we are migrating to a new paradigm, lattice-based cryptography. A lattice is a repeating, grid-like structure of points in multidimensional space. Unlike a simple number line, this structure allows for exponentially more complexity. The security of these systems relies on the shortest vector problem. It is computationally trivial to move through the grid, but finding the exact shortest path to a specific point in a high-dimensional lattice is incredibly difficult, even for quantum computers. By shifting our security from prime integers to lattice vectors, we create a mathematical wall that resists quantum decryption. This transition ensures our digital fortress remains secure in a post-quantum world. The final evolution of digital security is the zero-knowledge proof. This technology allows a user to prove they possess a specific secret, like a password or prime factor, without ever revealing the information. In a standard system, you must send your secret to the verifier. But with ZKP, the secret stays protected behind a mathematical shield. Instead of sending the secret, the prover calculates a mathematical proof. This proof is sent to the verifier to confirm the secret is known without containing the data itself. By combining zero-knowledge proofs with quantum-resistant mathematics, we ensure that your identity and personal data remain secure against the most powerful computers ever built. This is the cornerstone of the future of digital privacy.